During Tuesday's Senate Banking Committee hearing, Senator John Kennedy grilled regulators about financial oversight. Kennedy asked specifically about FTX, the major cryptocurrency company that has declared bankruptcy. Its founder, Sam Bankman-Fried, is facing massive backlash for the organization's downfall. The senator asked the regulators point blank, would any single one of you hire Sam Bankman-Fried to manage a food truck? The witnesses did not respond to the senator's rhetorical questions. He continued to lash into regulators for not watching FTX to make sure no one there defrauded their customers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Welcome, gentlemen. I think Senator Warren pointed out that you are major financial regulators, and we thank you for your time today. So let me ask you your opinion. Would any single one of you hire Sam Bankman-Fried to manage a food truck? Would any of you? Would any single one of you hire his girlfriend, Caroline Ellison, who apparently was trading billions of dollars, to manage a food truck? Can you tell me who in our federal financial services regulatory administrative state was watching FTX to make sure that no one there stole people's money? Was anyone watching them that you know of?
Well, Senator, just from you're dealing with banking.
You're a brave man.
I understand. You're dealing here with banking and credit union regulators, and FTX was not engaged in the banking business or in credit union business.
I know. I'm not saying you should be. I'm just asking. Yeah. You guys are at the top of the food chain in terms of financial services regulation. Do you know who was watching? Who was watching these chuckleheads?
Well, these folks, I think, were engaging generally in investment and trading activity. And so in the first instance, if you're thinking about
looks to me like some of them were engaged in stealing.
Well, that's under investigation now, Senator. So I think in the first instance, you'd probably want to engage with the market regulators, the SEC and the CFTC, to talk about the activities and the authorities in this area, candidly.
All right, I don't have a lot of time. I want to ask the chairman a few questions about inflation. Mr. Chairman, Professor Jason Furman, I think you know him at Harvard, formerly of President Obama's administration, has said that he thinks unemployment has to rise by 5 percentage points for a whole year to bring inflation down a single percent. Do you agree with that?
Thank you, Senator. Let me just start by saying inflation right now is far too high.
Yes, sir, but I'm going to run out of time. Doggone it. That's just in our chairman. He's fair, but he's tough as a boot, and he's going to cut me off. Do you agree with Professor Furman?
I think that it's the case that we're going to see significant softening in the economy. I don't have a projection that precise as Jason Furman to comment.
Let me ask you about Professor Larry Summers. He says that unemployment is going to have to rise to 7.5% and stay there for 2 years to get inflation down to 2%. Do you agree with that?
As I said, I think that we're going to see softening in the economy, but I don't have a prediction as precise as that one.
All right. Can we agree? You remember the inflation back in the 1980s under President Reagan and President Carter, and when Mr. Volcker was chairman. Can we agree that the only way we got control of inflation then was on both the fiscal and the monetary side?
Well, at the end of the day, it's the responsibility of the Fed to assure price stability consistent with maximum employment. So we're focused on our responsibility.
I know that, but you can't, if you depend on monetary policy alone, interest rates have to go higher. Or let me put it another way. If Congress cooperated and stopped spending money like it was ditch water, Congress or the Fed wouldn't have to raise rates as high. Is that a fair statement? To get control of inflation, of course.
I really won't have any comment on fiscal policy. We take the
You think fiscal policy is irrelevant?
we take the fiscal policy that elected members of Congress and the president enact, and we calculate those in our decision making. But I don't have a comment on fiscal policy.
You don't have any comment on the contribution that fiscal policy makes to inflation?
I really don't have anything to add about that.
Well, add to what? You haven't told me anything.
Add to what I said before.
You're not telling me that fiscal policy has nothing to do with inflation, are you?
I'm telling you that at the Fed, we take our monetary policy responsibilities as ours, and we leave to the elected
Well,
branches
don't you think you
fiscal
have a
policy.
moral obligation, if not a legal obligation, if you think fiscal policy is contributing to the inflation, to say something, for God's sakes?
I think it's important for us to respect the role of the Congress and the president in setting fiscal policy, and then to take that as a given in how.
Can you tell me, given the path we're on, how high unemployment is going to go in order to get inflation down?
I think we're going to see unemployment go up, but I don't have a precise answer to your question.
Duh. I think you're right. I don't mean to make light of you. Can you give me any prediction how high? I mean, Summers and Furman are saying it's going to have to go through the roof.
I have seen a wide range of predictions about that, and as I
What
said,
are those
we're going to be
ranges?
data dependent. We're going to see how the numbers come in, and unemployment is obviously an important factor we'll look at.
Thank you for your indulgence.
Thank you, Senator Kennedy.